Have you ever felt a room go quiet because of you? Not because of your voice, but because of your silence. That's how it was the night everything fell apart. The clock on the living room wall ticked like a hammer. 3 seconds apart. Tick, tick, tick. I could feel each sound in my chest. The house smelled faintly of rain and old photo albums. The kind of smell that belongs to homes that still keep their memories in wooden frames, not cloud drives. I was waiting for my daughter, Emily, the kid I raised with calloused hands and soft rules. The one who used to ride on my shoulders down our old street in Portland, pointing at airplanes and saying, "Higher, Dad, higher." And I'd laugh and say, "As high as the sky lets us, sweetheart." But that night, the sky felt like it had a ceiling I couldn't reach anymore. Her key turned in the lock. It sounded strange, distant, like it didn't belong to her anymore. I didn't move. I didn't call her name. I just watched as the door opened and she stepped inside, pale, tired, her eyes avoiding mine. The kind of look that tells you the truth before the words do. "Dad," she said softly. Only one word. And it felt like the whole house tilted to hear what came next. I nodded toward the coffee table. On it sat a stack of papers, contracts, receipts, loan statements, all signed with my name. My name. The one I built through 30 years of work, sweat, and reputation. Someone had borrowed it and spent it like spare change. She froze. Her fingers twitched against the silver bracelet on her wrist, the one I'd bought her after she graduated high school, back when I thought small victories were everything. "Is this a test?" she whispered. "Or punishment?" "It's the truth," I said. My voice sounded older than I remembered. "And I want to hear how it happened." She looked at the papers like they might burn her hands. "I was going to tell you," she said. "When? Before it hurt you." I laughed, just once, a hollow sound. "It already does." Outside, thunder rumbled somewhere over the Willamette. She started explaining, words spilling like broken glass. A friend's idea. A quick opportunity. A signature here, a signature there. "It was temporary," she said. "I just needed to prove I could do something on my own. I was going to pay it all back before anyone noticed." Temporary. That word hit harder than anything. I thought about all the temporary mistakes that never end. Small lies, small debts, small excuses that turn into lifelong regrets. I slid one of the contracts toward her. "You used my name to borrow," I said. "You used my trust to sign." Her lips shook. "I didn't think." "That's exactly the problem," I cut in quietly. "You didn't think. You just assumed I'd forgive you before I even knew what to forgive." Outside, a car splashed through the street. For a second, I saw our reflection in the window. A father carved out of stone and a daughter made of guilt and light. I wanted to hold her, to say we'll fix this, but something heavier stopped me. Pride. Not vanity, the kind that lives in every promise a parent makes. The kind that says, "I raised you better than this." "I'm sorry," she said. The words came out small but true, floating in the air like feathers that never landed. "How much?" I asked. She told me. And just like that, it wasn't about money anymore. It was about time, trust, reputation, everything I'd built being slowly taken apart by someone I loved most. "Who else knows?" I asked. "No one," she said quickly, but her eyes flickered, a tiny movement that said otherwise. "Who helped you?" She swallowed hard. "A friend. His name's Jason. He told me he could help me get an investment. Said if I just showed I had access to funds, we could start something real." I believed him. Jason. I'd heard that name before. He'd once sent me a partnership pitch through LinkedIn, too smooth, too confident. I turned it down. And now, he'd found another way in. Through her. I took a breath. "Where is he now?" "I don't know," she said. "He stopped returning my calls." Of course he did. Guys like that never stick around to watch the damage. We sat there in silence. The kind that feels like a punishment. Her hands trembled on her lap. She wasn't the same little girl who used to hide behind me during thunderstorms. She was the storm now. "You'll go to work tomorrow," I said at last. "Act normal. Tell no one what happened." "But..." "No," I cut her off. Let me handle it. But understand this, Emily, I'm not protecting your mistake. I'm protecting our name. And that means you'll face consequences. Her eyes filled, but I didn't look away. That night, I sat alone in my office, staring at a photo of us from years ago, her hand in mine, both covered in paint from when we redid her bedroom walls sky blue. She wanted stars on the ceiling, so I climbed the ladder and painted them one by one. She'd said, "Now I'll never be scared of the dark." I smiled bitterly. You forgot, Emily. Some darkness comes from the inside. Over the next few days, I gathered everything: bank statements, transfers, fake documents. It wasn't carelessness, it was manipulation. And I knew exactly whose fingerprints were all over it. Jason's. I could have called the police, but that would have dragged her name through mud. My name too. So I made a different choice. Rage burns fast. But time cuts clean. I started with facts, traced payments, connected fake emails, tracked accounts. Then I called an old friend, a retired forensic accountant. Together, we built a paper trail thick enough to choke the lies. I reached out to people I hadn't spoken to in years: a lawyer in Chicago, a client in San Francisco, even an editor I once helped with a scandal story. People remember who stood by them when no one else did. Then came the setup, a fake business proposal that Jason couldn't resist. A startup investment pitch sent through mutual contacts. He thought he'd found another easy mark. He didn't know every email, every meeting, every handshake was being recorded. When the day came, we met in a downtown office in Seattle. Glass walls, polished floors, a city full of noise, yet the air inside that room felt heavy. My lawyer, the accountant, and a reporter sat quietly as Jason strolled in late. Confident, rehearsed, fake smile ready. "Thanks for seeing me, Mr. Carter," I said. He grinned. "Happy to talk business." "Oh, we're talking business," I replied. "The business of truth." I pressed play on the recording, his voice echoing through the room. Promising my daughter easy money. Coaching her on how to fake my signature. Calling me the old man who'd never find out. His smirk vanished. He tried to shift blame, to twist the story, to say Emily was the one pushing him. But she stood, her voice trembling yet strong. "Yes, I made a mistake. But you used my trust to feed your greed." The lawyer handed him the settlement. Frozen accounts. Repayments redirected. His reputation finished. He signed it with shaking hands and left without a word. Outside, Emily looked up at me. "It's over," she whispered. "Not yet," I said. "It's over when you forgive yourself." Weeks passed. The bank cleared my name. My reputation restored. Jason disappeared. Emily stayed. No more hiding, no more late-night calls. She worked beside me every day, learning line by line what honesty costs and what it saves. One evening, she came into my office holding a folder. "Dad," she said, "the accounts are balanced." I looked through the papers, nodded. "You've done well." She hesitated. "I didn't deserve your forgiveness." "Forgiveness isn't something you deserve," I said gently. "It's something you grow into. You make yourself worthy of it by changing." Tears glimmered in her eyes, but she smiled. "I hope someday you'll be proud of me again." "I already am," I said. "You fell, but you didn't stay down." That night, I sat by the window, watching Seattle's skyline fade into dusk. I thought revenge would feel satisfying, but it didn't. It just cleared the noise so I could hear what mattered. Betrayal breaks you, but time rebuilds. If someone you love has broken your trust, don't rush to destroy them. Let time do its work. Time humbles the proud, heals the broken, and reveals the truth in ways anger never can. Because in every wound story, there comes a moment when time whispers back, "Now you understand."